Of the police force there is one of at least 20 officers who could be in big trouble over some videotapes that the mayor says are offensive to minorities and women. NBC's Peter Alexander has the story.
Good morning, Captain.
San Francisco police officers caught on tape. From suggestive scenes like this one called Traffic Cop Gone Wild,
just turn around,
to a mock hit and run between a patrol car and an African-American homeless woman. These videos were supposed to boost officer morale, produced for a captain's retirement party. Instead, they're a public relations nightmare for both the city and police.
This is a dark day, an extremely dark day in the history of the San Francisco Police Department.
Mayor Gavin Newsom denounced the tapes as racist, sexist, and homophobic.
We are going to make some dramatic changes in the San Francisco Police Department.
The online videos were never meant to be seen outside the force. They were produced by officer and videographer Andrew Cohen. The 10-year veteran denies doing anything wrong.
That's all it was laughing at ourselves. You cannot watch that DVD and think anything else.
The police chief did, ordering at least 20 officers suspended for their alleged involvement. Cohen's attorney says the punishment is unjust.
They're making fun of themselves in these videos. They're raising very important issues the same way Chris Rock does when he makes very biting, cutting comments. But nobody calls Chris Rock a criminal.
Today, the mayor is expected to launch a panel to review the entire department's actions. Peter Alexander, NBC News, Los Angeles.
You just saw him on the video. Now Andrew Cohen's attorney, Daniel Horowitz, joins us. It's the first time we've had Daniel back on the program since we spoke with him not long ago after his wife's murder. Daniel, good to see you.
Good to be here, Dan. Thank
All right, let's start. I'll ask you later about how you're doing, but let's talk about this case first. Let's get right to the bottom of it. First of all, look, it does seem to me. I mean, like it was an idiotic move of the cops to put this on the web, wasn't it?
It was a mistake to put it where it was technically on the web, but you couldn't find it in Google or any search engine, Dan. It hadn't been indexed, so unless you knew the exact web address, you couldn't view it.
But for some reason,
only cops knew that address.
But for some reason, they didn't get the fact. I mean, they're San Francisco cops. Of any city in the country, you want to cause some trouble by doing anything even remotely problematic, it's San Francisco.
Right. I mean, Dan, first of all, let's just say Andrew Cohen takes responsibility for putting it on the web. The other officers are not to blame for that. They should be back on their jobs. But bottom line is, this is a commentary on what's wrong with the San Francisco Police Department. It's the officers saying, hey, this is how we feel. We hurt, we laugh, we're human, and they're just talking among themselves. And the real failure is that the chief doesn't listen to their voice, or when she hears their voice, she tries to fire them and punish them instead of saying, wow, we got some problems, let's fix them.
Look, I think that the authorities, my friend Gavin Newsom in San Francisco and some others are vastly overstating the significance of this tape. But with that said, you know, it's certainly, you made the comparison, you said Chris Rock makes this kind of biting commentary all the time. You know, look, Daniel, these are police officers. They're not comedians. They've got a different obligation.
True, but you know, Dan, Andrew Cohen was authorized by the chief to make videos, and for the last 8 years, he's made videos that have run on major stations in the Bay Area. Now he's making videos under the same authority, but now it's cutting and biting, and it's critical of the administration, and it shows the heart of the police officers. If Gavin Newsom didn't like the content, he should have said, take it off the web and get back the DVDs. That's actually what Andrew Cohen was doing when, for some reason, Mayor Newsom, who I liked until now, and the chief published these nationally. So if they didn't like them, why did they put them out throughout the airwaves when they were private up until that point?
Well, because they got to show why they're doing what they're doing. That's why. Because they got to say, look, if we're going to be pulling a bunch of police officers off the force, we got to show why we're doing it. And Daniel, look, how do you... And I don't want to go through point by point everything on the tape, because some of it I find to be actually humorous and entertaining, and other parts of it are, you know, somewhat offensive, I think, and certainly stupid. But what's with the business about licking the lips? How is that the lip licking part somehow making fun of themselves?
Well, you know, Dan, I think, first of all, what you have there are a lot of women licking their lips in this Charlie Angel sort of imitation, and yet these are very strong, powerful, self-assertive courageous women. These are police officers who patrol very dangerous streets alone at times and risk their lives. They're the total opposite of Charlie's Angels, or that ridiculous image. So they're actually mocking the stereotype because everyone in the station knows how courageous and strong they are. So
right.
if you're in the group that knows, there's nothing offensive about it.
Here's Gavin Newsom talking. Oh, this is a gigantic wake-up call. We've known what lies beneath the surface. We talked about changes, and we've certainly made plenty of changes. But now this calls for clearly an order of magnitude shift. Oh, come on, Gavin. Easy, easy. It's not that big a deal. But look, it was dumb. It was stupid, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, Daniel. Why very quickly? Why'd you decide to take this case? I mean, everyone thinks of you as the liberal lefty lawyer.
Well, Dan, I've known Andrew Cohen for 26 years as a friend. I knew him when he quit a police department because he believed there was racism in the department and he couldn't stay there. So when he got accused of things that were totally unfair, I had to basically come back and protect him. So here I am.
All right. Daniel, I think you're going to stick around for a minute, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry. Is my producer telling me Daniel's leaving? All right. He's going to stick around. Coming up, because I want to ask Daniel about how he's doing in the wake of everything that happened with his wife and how it is going back into practice. Be right back.